That's just a perfect way to start off the YouTube video. All right, ladies and gents, welcome to a best of 5 round of 16. This is the first time we have seen these players in a game today, and whoever wins this best of 5 moves on to the round of 8. Now, this is after both teams advanced out of their group, and in particular, Riot and Goku, they had a tougher task because they had to qualify to be Brazil B first, which they did. Then they had to get out of the group, and now they're here. And this will determine who is the best 2v2 team in Brazil. And there's a lot of good players there. Miguel and Dogal are the favorites. You have Miguel in the blue. He's playing Huns, and you have Dogal in the green. He's playing Ethiopians. And against Dogal, you have Goku. Goku, I think, is playing the best I've ever seen him play in 2020. Based on his performance in this tournament, he's been a beast. 2 years ago, it would have been out of the question to ever have Fire on the bench. But no, it's Goku's here. Fire is sitting on the bench. And then you have Riot's legend of the game, player who was once top 5 and then retired and recently returned. He's playing as the Vikings. Now, something I've never told people here is I had a conversation with Miguel, who's a good friend of mine. And this was a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And we were talking about fast players and talking about, players who had left the game. And he mentioned that if Riot would have returned to the game with full-time hours, he said Riot would easily be top 5. Easily the best in Brazil, easily top 5. And, well, in 2020, Riot's definitely not putting in full-time hours. He plays on occasion. He's top 25, top 30 1v1 player, and has had an extraordinary performance so far in this tournament. So, Miguel of old said that Riot has the potential to be the best in Brazil. It's what he said. And now he's up against him on the left side. So this would be really fun to watch. Now, Miguel and Dogal, it's a really fun pair to watch because they played together on Heresy. They played together in their Brazil events. I mean, they are really good friends and play together so much. And Dogal especially, I think in terms of peak, I might even want to disagree with Miguel of old. Of all the Brazilians right now, which player would you say is the most terrifying in Brazil if he is on? Whether that's 1v1s or team games. I think we're looking at him here. I think it's Dogal. Dogal has certainly had some big tournament results this year. And he's playing that archer role, which seems to be so important in this tournament for teams. So it'll be interesting because we have archers versus scouts on the right side, and then we have archers versus scouts on the left. So that very much matters. If it's archers v archers on one side and scouts on the other, it can be a bit more slow and I guess predictable as you go towards feudal. You think it's Neymar? Oh, gotcha, Neymar. Well, if there was a way to dive in... No, you know what? We're not going to make those jokes. So anyways, Brazil A did use a restart. So if they have a bad map gen at any point, which they hopefully will not have, shouldn't have, they won't have that bail them out. I'm looking at the maps. It doesn't look too bad. This berry position could be awkward. But the gold in the back, the wood line's looking good for Dogal as he's adding a barracks. And this is so early that pre-mill drush, I think, Dogal might be thinking more about hitting to Castle Age than being competitive in feudal. Oh my god, and Dogal's going for a Vil pick? Can he kill this villager? Oh, no way! Oh, man! No way! Had he just committed, he probably would have lost the scout anyways, and he would have killed the villager, but that villager continues to chop wood on 1 HP. Jeez. What's also weird about that with the animation, it really looked like the villager was going to die, and the scout was going to survive. That villager must have the longest arms in the entire kingdom to be able to have got that shot. It's like he just grazed the tail of the scout or something. But wall's coming up for Goku. His eco's looking good now. And Dogal will not have the scout. He does know exactly where that town center is. He knows exactly where the berries are, so it's not the worst. And he's also walling up. Playing safe. It wasn't lag. It's just the animations can be weird sometimes. And actually, Riot choosing to do the exact same thing on the other side. Here we have Miguel, the scout player for his team, walling, and he will be fully walled on the important areas. Just missing a palisade there. So far, pretty good for the scout players. You see the Drush come in from Dogal, and Goku's just like, nope. You will do nada. Nothing. So scouts for the scout players and Drush Fast Castle for the archer players is what it looks like. Interesting. I mean, I assume it's Drush Fast Castle. We still could see them click up to Feudal here shortly. But with the way the walls are going up, and no Feudal Age in yet for the archer players, it looks like Fast Castle. Vikings, fantastic civ for that. Ethiopians also fantastic civ for that. So Riyadh just lost his scout. It's funny how similar this is right now. The two best teams in Brazil, and it's basically mirrored at this point. Okay, that Drush is delaying. Oh my god, can Dogal get some redemption for that mistake earlier? The lead militia is trying to block. What is this? Oh my god! No way! What a Drush, man! That was so good. Also, where's that weak Vil at? He's got to be out there somewhere. Okay, he's walled in. Wow, that was impressive from Dogal. Not to mention the idle time. Goku's had to add these little palisades. Miguel has not had to do that. So advantage Brazil A. Oh, did they just overchop? Oh, they didn't. They've heard about that villager. Not much they can do about it, and now it's decision time. Goku has to decide on if he goes forward to attack or if he comes here to deal with this, and I think it's an easy decision because everyone should be walled. I like how Riyadh added a palisade wall there. That's a nice little wood line for him. It's definitely worth it for Dogal to try and commit against another villager here. Because if not only is this really sloppy from Goku, but if he gets another one, wow. He'll get it. No way. 2 villagers killed with a Drush. Absolute disaster for Goku. When otherwise it could have been fine. Because unless there's a hole in this wall, there's no chance that he can get any type of a counterattack in. He really should have paid attention to this. All right, Miguel making those scouts, but prioritizing villagers right now. Prioritizing villagers because eco is all that matters to get to a good spot to go to Castle Age. Let's check Riyadh's position. Riyadh with a range. Wait a second, am I missing something here? Does he really only have 100 food? What? Well, he's not going FC then. Miguel's going to clear this. It's also a good move to pull a villager there to help out. And then let's look at Dogal. Dogal's going to click up to Castle Age. This is, I mean, a massive advantage for Brazil A. Based on what I'm seeing here. I don't know where Riyadh's resources went, but compared to Dogal, Dogal's already, he's going to be on the way up in a second. It's weird. The militia go down. Yeah, Men-at-Arm upgrade wouldn't really be worth it there. You've already killed 2 units and delayed. I went from thinking this is going to be even, seeing villagers die for Brazil B, and the build would just not be there for Riyadh. It's so weird. You go up this late, normally you have at least 400 or 500 food. Ethiopians get plus 100 food, plus 100 gold when they arrive to each age. That arrives in Feudal Age. That arrives in Castle Age, and Goku's already on the way. You guys want to see a clean Drush Fast Castle build order? You've just seen it. This is disgusting. He'll be in Castle Age faster than most people who've ever played the game can do if they're just going Fast Castle. He's killed 2 villagers, and he'll have 2 ranges with full upgrades. Nuts. Absolute insanity. Miguel still creating scouts, which is a surprise. He's creating a lot of scouts. I think he's creating a lot of scouts, hoping to engage against Riyadh's archers. Probably expecting Riyadh to also be Fast Castle. Obviously, we know that's not the case. He even added the double-layer palisades just to be careful. Yeah, I have to look back and see what the Feudal Age time was for Riyadh, but he went 1 range. He went heavy eco approach after the fact. Just you either commit to fast feudal archers and get a lot of archers out, or you go for what Dogal's going for. Because it's worth it to delay the ranges and delay the numbers if you have a build this crisp. But this is just disgusting. Now, granted, he might have deserved one or maybe two of those villager kills. Maybe both. I don't know. Goku will feel like he should have avoided that. So in Castle Age at 1645, getting crossbow and getting Bodkinero, and has crossbows that are the fastest firing crossbows in the game. I will laugh if he snipes his villager first. That weak one's still on that wood line. There goes Goku on the way to Castle Age. He will be around the same time as his teammate Riot, but can he survive? T90, do you think the auto-reseeding farms is taking away from the skill of the players? Or do you think that is a good thing? Before I watched the video about Age Mythology and the auto queue, and that's why I mentioned it before. When it first came out, I thought that it would take away from the APM of the players, and it takes away from the skill. But now that it's existed, I mean, I still have my reservations on Auto Scout, but I think Auto Farm's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's not a big deal for me. I don't care if Auto Farm is ticked on or off for Goku, though. He's going to fall behind here in some way, shape, or form, whether that's idle time or more villagers going down. The difference is Dogao idled his TC. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the build was just better for Dogao. You'll see the Vil counts even out here as Riot's TC is idle as he's going Castle Age. Dogao has a straight-up perfect build order. I mean, this is just beautiful. And the patience now from Brazil A to realize, okay, we're already pulling them off of resources. We are already ahead. Let's not go too crazy here. Let's just stay ahead. And maybe Miguel will run in. We're looking now at Riot, who's on 2 ranges. He's sending units forward to hit Miguel. Miguel's not in Castle Age yet, and Miguel could actually be in a rough spot. So, disaster situation for Goku currently. He's going to lose all of these villagers. Oh, what a good engagement from Miguel. A great decision to run in there, too. But Miguel could be in a rough spot soon if Riot's able to really put the pressure on. Goku with the quick walls. He needs to quick wall. He cannot lose any more villagers. And oh, he will lose 2 more. Will it be 2? Yes, it will be 2 more. Disaster. Also could lose villagers here. Now Miguel's going to be pulled off of gold and a wood line. So Dogao might need to go save his teammate, either with the units he has at home or the units that he currently has forward. Looking at those Vil counts, Goku's in a bad position. But if Brazil B are able to control the game just a little bit through Riot, it could be good. Now, the concern for Riot is Miguel is able to get chain barding. He's going to have about 5 or 6 knights, and he's not losing Vils. Now, as I say that, he's going to lose one, because that's normal. Oh, good micro. But yeah, it actually looks like he has enough knights to be able to clear this on his own. And if that does happen, that allows Dogao to go over to Riot. Riot was not expecting this. He was thinking that Dogao would have to go back over to save his teammate. And the Knights haven't fully engaged just yet, but they will go in for an engagement right now. If Brazil B have a chance in this game, Riot needs to stay here as long as possible. But chain barding with forging, it's really the armor with the Knights that you need. Riot's getting into as good a position as he can, but that's going to be a cleanup. And Riot has lost 1, 2. That was 2 on top of the 2 he lost in the wood line. And now he is to leave the gold. And yeah, Brazil A are looking so good here. All stems back to the fast castle. Because the fast castle from Dogao was so freaking epic. His team had control. And it's Brazil B trying to react now. And trying to recover from the massive losses they've taken. Crazy. Villagers going down. Hey, guys. There's... I struggled to see how Brazil B can come back. I don't want to be that guy who says, oh no, it's over. You know, that's kind of boring. But 3 TCs for Miguel. Miguel's got plenty of knight numbers. Still more archer numbers for Dogao if you're comparing it to Riot, and it's just so good. Dogao so good, so bang. Is that what Vivi would say? I guess so. 3 town centers soon over here, and more villagers going down. This is brutal. I'm sure you have the fancy smancy micro there, Riot, but Still, it's not going to save you from what's coming unless Dogal makes a bit of a mistake. Still, that's just a small little mistake. Could be worse. 50 villagers for Miguel. 50 for Dogal. Mid-30s for Riot. Mid-30s for Goku. I love how... Did you ever hear... I can't really think of a good example here. But you know what? I'll come back to that. Brazil A really want to hold this hill. And they'll decide to bail on this. I think that makes sense because it's pretty close to Riot's production. They could fall back to this hill if they have to. Or they could just not fall back at all. Miguel happy to just dodge with the knights. The fact that that's meta still gets me. It's like, no, we don't attack with our army. We just dodge. Just dodge the arrows. And I think with a few extra knights... Brazil A were happy to engage here. More crossbows on the way for Dogal. And yeah, they're getting closer and closer to winning this game now. Goku's got to engage with some of these. He does have Magyars, so extra attack will help. Okay, maybe Brazil A need to fall back. But yeah, this all stems back to the excellent build order from Dogal compared to Riot. And then Goku losing those villagers. But the big thing, I think Goku could lose those villagers, and he's still in an okay position compared to Miguel, because he was in Castle Age faster. It comes back to Riot and Dogal, and the comparison there. And I really can't tell you what the game plan was for Riot, as maybe Dogal's getting a little bit too excited. But I can tell you that Dogal's build was near perfect for what he did. You're also not seeing a ton of Drushfast castles in this tournament, which is interesting. I think we'll see more as the level gets higher, but we'll soon have 4 archer range production for Dogal. The food count will start to rise for him, and he'll maybe start thinking about Imp, and this is where you see the Knight players add more stables, get more production. Update on the Vill counts between the Knight players. It's 73 villagers against 47. I knew this would happen the second I said Goku's been amazing with the Knight roll. I knew he'd fall behind in some way. And I also talked up Riot a bunch too. And then just disaster of a game from him. Especially by his standards. He was one of the first players I looked to for build orders back in 2015-ish. T90, want me to tell you the score of the Manchester United game? Oh no, I intentionally avoid Manchester United games. That way I don't have... that way I don't feel pain and headaches and heartache in life. I just look at highlights. You don't need to tell me. Thank you. Oh, God. Oh, God. Villagers dying. And perhaps no surprise, right? They'll be trying to do their best to come back. It's looking unlikely here, but they should fight on. And this is that counterattack they needed. They need 1 or 2 more of these attacks. This is pretty brutal. Miguel with 18 knights. He can definitely fight this. He splits them up. He'll run around and he'll stop and patrol forward. Oh! Perfect little surrounds. Goku doesn't have enough knights in support. All of Ria's crossbows will go down. And there's still no answer to the crossbows that are here. And then look at that ball. GG. 1-0 for Brazil A. There's different ways to look at this. I feel like in some ways, you could get dejected if you're Brazil B. But in other ways, you could just say, we had a really bad game by our standards. The next game isn't going to be this bad. I still need to look at the feudal times. Did I miss something here? Okay, so Riot went feudal age a bit faster, yes. So he did go more for a drush into archers. But at that point, what did they gain from that, right? He wasn't able to get more archers than Dogal, and Dogal was in Castle Age a full 3 minutes faster. Forget what happened to Goku in Dark Age. That was important, but 3 minute faster Castle Age with crossbows is just going to end games at times. So Riot really needed to play better there. It's hard to have a fast castle time that's competitive with Ethiopians. 1642 is nuts, but I still think Vikings could have done that. Game 2 will be on one of the Brazil B home maps. They have Nomad and Ghost Lake. Hold on a second. Is that overlay right? Did they actually pick Nomad? They actually picked Nomad, and they picked Nomad first. Now, I'd have to go back and look, but I think Brazil A frequently bans Nomad as a home map. They probably know each other well, and maybe Riot and Goku feel as though Miguel and Dogao are not so good on that map. I'll cross off the civs that were used, and I think it will be Nomad for the next game with that logic. Ethiopians and Huns out of the picture. And then it was Vikings and Magyars. Not the worst civilizations to lose with, I guess. Restart your game. Oh, thank you for the reminder. I'll do that as I speculate here on civs. Well, Spanish is definitely being used for Nomad. There's no doubt in my mind. Maybe Spanish Malians makes sense. We saw Lithuanians earlier. Spanish Lithuanians could also make sense. And for Brazil B, Vietnamese we saw on Nomad earlier. That could be beastly. You probably want Burmese on Nomad. So maybe Burmese. I'm kind of confused for the civilizations for Brazil B. What civs will they go for? Because Persians was banned out. They picked Persians early because they wanted that for Nomad. And that was sniped after the fact. That was a really good snipe from Brazil A. I think they wanted to go Burmese and Persians, and now they cannot do that. We'll find out soon. Also, they don't have to go for Nomad. They could go for Ghost Lake if they want to. Is Canada playing at 19 GMT? The time's not confirmed. I think it's roughly going to be... Well, no. It's like 18:30 GMT right now. No, it'd probably be more like 20 GMT. The schedule today is to have Canada and Poland play after this. These games are live, so Canada's a heavy favorite there. I'd be surprised if Canada doesn't go through, but I am also looking forward to seeing what Barles and Poland can do. Can you go over the format real quick? Sorry if this question has been asked already. You're gonna have to be more specific. Are we talking how many teams? How many players can be on each team? How the civs are picked? How the maps are picked? I'm gonna need more specifics there. Game number 2. I'll explain what I can in the early going of Nomad if you have it. It's starting in 30 seconds. Yeah, PJM, that's true. Persians could also be good on Chaos Pit, and they removed that. But no, I think Persians are clearly one of the best Nomad civs, so that's why they wanted to remove that civ. You want me to explain the entire concept of the tournament right now? Okay. So it's a World Cup, which means that teams are players from each country. And you can only have 2 teams in the top 32. At this point, we're in the round of 16. And if there are 2 teams still left from each country after that, and there's four countries who have that, they have to kill each other off in the round of 16. And that's pretty much it. Honestly, if you have questions, I'm explaining things constantly throughout the show, so you kind of have to keep an ear out. I don't think it's fair to people who've been here for me to re-explain some of those things. You could read on AoE Zone too, but okay. I don't think I've seen Mayans on Nomad in a long time. Because back in the day, and when I say back in the day, maybe 6 months ago, for Mayans and Chinese, they made it that they would not get their extra villagers until after the town center was up. So it actually nerfed Mayans on Nomad pretty heavily. That was weird. Whose dock was that? It also nerfed Chinese on Nomad. Now, just to give you my opinion on all that, I'm still not a fan of that change. And I'm not a fan of that change because there's already so few civilizations that are good on Nomad. I wasn't a huge fan of how they nerfed 2 of them. But still good civ. You'll still have extra villagers. Resources still last longer. Plumed archers are still beastly. Riot's got his TC going up here. To the north of him. Oh my god. It's going to be a Miguel sandwich. Miguel is here. And then right next to Miguel is Goku. So Miguel has both enemies surrounding him. Oh man. And then you have Dogao down here completely safe as Malians. So the way that the meta tends to work in 2v2 Nomad, at least with the best civilizations, you tend to see one civ go for a fast start with a lot of fishing ships, and then a fast feudal age to destroy fishing ships with navy. And then the other player fights on land. Now, in particular for Brazil A, you're going to have Miguel. He wants to go for a safe, fast castle. He is not going to have a safe, fast castle. Spoilers. There's just no way this becomes a safe, fast castle when he's right next to 2 enemy players. So, he's going to have a fish boom. That might not even be safe because he's next to Goku's dock. This is... Phew. So I assume the game plan for Brazil B is to have Goku win water and feudal. And he'll certainly be able to take out Miguel's fish. And then Riot probably, I mean, at least back in the day, it would be fast castle into plumed archers with Mayans. But there's stone in random spots, gold, random spots, food in random spots. You have no guarantee of resources. It's on you to find it. It's what makes Nomad messy. So, considering game 1 was a disaster for Brazil B, I actually feel as though this is a great spot for them to be in. Despite the fact they don't love their civs, I do think this is as good as they could get because the dock could be threatened for Miguel, and Miguel can fast castle. Now, to address more questions that are being brought up, this is not on the new patch because the new patch has performance issues. And the new patch also came in the middle of the tournament, and we're not changing the balance in the middle of a $30,000 tournament. So, I'm getting those questions a lot. Twitch chat, if you can help me out, because I'm, to be quite honest with you, getting sick and tired of answering the question out loud. It would be great. So if you appreciate the content, you know, leave a follow and also answer the question for me. Thank you. Oh, man. Life of a streamer. Also, welcome, Sanctuary Kill. He says he's new to the community. Thanks, and welcome. Falcon, Push Entertainment. Thank you. William, welcome back. Now, on the flip side, if you're that one player who's sandwiched here, you can play what I like to call the Licks role. Or if I have to reference one of my friends, the Dave role. I've played Nomad with Dave before. And normally people would say, okay, this isn't good when I'm surrounded by 2 enemies. But when you're playing Nomad with Dave, Dave's like, that's good. Just be a pain. You know, and so that's a compliment to him because it really is true. If Miguel is able to annoy both these players, we saw how good Dogao was in game 1. Dogao's going to be completely untouched and in a fine position. So yes, we will see. Also, salutes in chat for Overlay Guy adding the colors of the players underneath the civs. I know there were some people requesting that. That will hopefully clear up some of the questions people had. Oh yeah, it's like, sir, they've got us surrounded. Great, then we can attack in every direction. Oh man. Okay, refresh on dock positions. Riot is very far away. That is quite nice for him if he does want to go fast castle. Dogao is in the north. I expect him to click up to feudal age around 23 or 24 pop. If he is going to win water for his team. I think it'd be a mistake not to. And then we have the dock over here for Goku right next to Miguel. Teams will scout with turkeys and vills and whatever they have. I don't think that the Brazilian... I keep wanting to say the Brazilians. I don't think the one Brazilian team knows about the other Brazilian team. Or, you know, Brazil A knows about Brazil's... Brazil B's dock. Man, words are hard. Sometimes when I'm talking, it's like someone tripping and falling down the stairs. Actually, I still have coffee here. It'd be a bad idea to drink it, but it tastes good, so. So, let's look at Miguel's scouting. He knows there's a town center here. He knows there's a town center here. So, whatever game plan you had going into this, I don't think you can do that anymore, Miguel. We're talking scouts. We're talking towers. Anything you can do to be competitive in feudal age, you go for here. Still looking around here to see what's going on. As we have Dogao on the way to feudal age. So everyone's on the way to feudal age except Riot, and Riot's also walling up. Ooh. Miguel He sees the houses. He sees the villager. Where is he going with this vill? Did he just go to gold? He's gone to stone. Okay, so he's going tower rush. But the fact he pulled this vill makes me think that he wanted the second dock. It wouldn't be a bad idea to send this villager way down here and dock and try and keep those fishing ships working. It's risky, but it'd be a good play. What a message. What a message from Masons. I'll read the rest of that. You've been a consistent bright spot in dark times, and I salute you. Well, Masons, I wasn't expecting the Fields train. But thanks a bunch for that. Oh, Dogao scouted with his fishing ship all the way over here to see where Riet has docked. Fishing very, very important. Let's get some salutes in chat for Masons. Masons, I appreciate you. You guys have been the same to me, and you know that. Here's a tower that will threaten Riet a little bit. And there will be a tower over here, which will also annoy Goku. Goku's already on water, already on 2 docks, and he's right next to where Dogao is fishing. Dogao's also making navy, and Miguel, or Dogao's on 3 docks. Now, actually, okay, all of his docks are in the north here. I'm just trying to gather an idea of how this game's going to develop. It's kind of awkward for Dogao because he needs to keep his own fishing ship safe. And so he needs navy here, but he really wants to float a fire galley or 2 down here, I'm sure. Because Riet will not defend himself. Updating the tower situation. Now remember, Riet has 12 on food, but a lot of that is fishing. His villagers on stone. He does not want to make any counter towers here. On water, pretty 50-50 fight. Oh, if Dogao repairs that, nice job from him. That will be brand new. Might all come back to the fact Miguel has been able to delay Goku while also delaying Riet. So it's not necessarily bad in Nomad if you're in the middle. I called it the Lix role because Lix loves to play this role for China A. If you didn't watch China A versus China B earlier, stick around later and watch the rerun. It was super good. In particular, one of those games was one of the best games I've seen in the tournament so far. Gal's mic are really good so far. And actually, he'll end up getting 2 kills if he does this correctly. 1. Kill it. Oh, he didn't know. Okay, Tower War still continuing here. Riet is fast castling. Has it been enough from Miguel? Or is Riet just going to drop a castle and get to plumed archers? It feels very much like, as he is losing a few fishing ships, that he's still going to get to that castle. Ooh, good grounds being gained here, though. I can guarantee you Goku is focused on water. Oh, the tower almost went down. Fletching in for Miguel's towers. Goku does not have that yet. And so it will be tough to hold here. And good job from Miguel to remain some type of a threat. But what if he gets castle dropped? What if the castle goes up here? Miguel's going to have to run. His fishing ships have been found. He did dock down here earlier. He still has some working, but he's sailing away. Because Goku's chasing him, and he wants Dogao to save him. Great job from Goku not to lose villagers in this tower war. But on water, he's now struggling. And he's struggling because of the distraction of Miguel. Yeah, if that castle for Riet is too close to the TC, Miguel could always deny it with a tower. Very good point. So it'll go here. I don't think you can tower here to deny this. No, because villagers could just rush that down. If you're dizzy, it's expected because it's Nomad. It's not meant to be straightforward. The Nomad game we had between China A and China B was the same, and then some. That was ridiculous. Build more towers. Spanish do build faster. Don't forget that. That applies to the town centers at the start. That applies to the towers here. And yeah, it looks like Brazil A is winning water, but they could lose land if plumed archers come out. So this is what makes Nomad really fun, because the eco is worse for Riot and Goku because they're going to lose their fishing ships. Eventually, you would foresee them lose their fishing ships. But Miguel doesn't have the eco to go Castle Age. And there's going to be plumed archers out. So, I mean, how much does water matter if plumed archers are sniping villagers? In theory, now Dogao adds a bunch of fishing ships. You see that? He just added a round of fishing ships. He starts to fish boom and gain a massive eco lead. And then makes knights. And I feel like this is so well balanced from Dogao. The second he realized he had a lead, he started queuing up the fishing ships. Out of 4 docks, too. Miguel also has saved a few fishing ships over here, so that's so good from him too. He'll get them back to work and when times are tough. So here are the plumes. Riot on 2 town centers. Oh boy. So there's also the aspect of investing into land eco early. So yeah, Riot doesn't have his fishing ships anymore as these have run away, but he has a lot of farms seeded. Okay, I'm skipping this. That's not something I think is funny. Like, there's jokes, and then there's taking it too far. I didn't skip it because I was too late, but... the plumed archer's really struggling to know where to go right now. Right? It's funny how he could hit Miguel, but he's like, Miguel's not important. I need to find Dogao. Really struggling to find areas to hit, but found this... And we'll probably also see the fishing ships if he continues this way. Plumed archers patrolling around the map. Update on the tower rush situation. Miguel's still doing what he can. Miguel probably realizes that the plumes could hit him at any time, but also hasn't towered as much as I would in this spot. There's a signal from Miguel, who I think was losing some fishing ships, or just letting his teammate know that there's fires over here. Well played, Goku. Goku, sniping what fishing ships he can. That's the best move when you realize you are going to lose water entirely. But Dogao, man. I love how he doesn't hesitate to queue the fishing ships. He's going to have knights soon. The plumed archers just now have fletching. Dogao has to defend from that, and then he should have enough food eco to make knights. Look at that food count. We're comparing Goku's spot to Miguel's spot. Miguel's going to have the food to go Castle Age. I think that's because he kept those fishing ships alive. And, oh, this is a good spot for Miguel. This is looking so good for the A team of Brazil. This is not a situation where Goku will ever want to fight with villagers. He might have to, but it's not a spot where he'll ever want to do this. The villagers will go down for both players, probably, but more so for Goku. And this is Nomad. This is so messy. Will both towers go down? Simultaneous destruction? Nope. The towers are staying up. Goku's getting wrecked. Goku's dead. Goku's dead. He is dead. GG. He'll have less than 30 villagers. He can't take gold. Miguel's on the way to Castle Age. The plumed archers are on Miguel, and Miguel's just taking some losses. But over here, massive fish boom for Dogao. He's going to make the knights. What a play from Miguel, man. Up against 2 people from the other team? No problem. He welcomes that challenge. Wow. That was sick. That was sick, and also, I feel bad for Goku because it's a result of Riot not helping on water and not being able to help on land until Castle Age. You know? When you go FC to give Riot a strong boom like this, this is the result. You have Goku having to deal with land and water pressure. It almost reminds me of Game 1, where Riot, you know, struggling in comparison to Dogao led to Goku getting doubled as well. It's just how it happens. You're always looking for that first 2v1 situation in a 2v2 game. So guys, Goku, he's offering nothing to the team now except moral support. And I don't even know if he's going to have... I don't know if he's going to be in the best mental spot to be able to offer that. Can Mayans carry here? Riot does have the most eco in the game. 3 town centers. But now Riot could be doubled. And oh boy, Miguel. Miguel. This is really bad. But the castle should still go up because the knights are here. That castle is right next to Riot's base as he backs away with a lot of plumes. Yeah, this is not quite comparable to the China A versus China B Nomad game. And I will have to spoil it a little bit, or at least something that happens in that game. And rewatch it, please, if you guys have the time. But there was a unique unit which did a great job at keeping one team in it. I'll just say it. It was the Rattan Archer. Whether it was win or lose for that team, the Rattan Archer gave them a chance that they otherwise would not have had. Riot will be on 2 castles with plumes. If there was ever a unit that would carry, it would be the Plumed Archer or the Rattan Archer, I'd say. Plumed Archers, they're comparable to the Rattans in some ways, right? Like, they have that higher pierce armor. They've got that mobility. I think they're cheaper, Plumed Archers, than Rattan Archers, as Goku's going to run away. But I feel the key here for Riot has got to be to threaten Dogal. Not necessarily Miguel. He can deal with Miguel. But Dogal's got a lot of knights out. And if Dogal gets Imp, especially with Malians, you can just go champion. Oh, man. Oh, man. No, Miguel only has 35 eco, and Goku's at 26. Yes, one's in Castle Age, one's in Feudal, but Miguel's got to be super careful. He really cannot engage against this. I like to see him add Siege, and there's the Siege Workshop now, because it just feels right. Normally wouldn't add Siege if the enemy had Knights, but the enemy doesn't have Knights. And speaking of Knights, Dogal is raiding like crazy here. Goku with Transplant Eco. His TC is probably going to go down. He needs to delete his TC. This is horrible. This is horrible, man. Oh boy. Goku trying to survive as Riot tries to chase down these knights, and that's just more time for Dogal. Yeah, he deleted the town center before it even went down. Yeah, he deleted it, and he's going to drop it here. And Miguel's job is just to hunt that down. So F's in chat for Goku. Riot's about to click up to Imp, though. He's about to click Imperial. He has 35 military. It sounds crazy. I actually think that Brazil B have a solid chance. They have a 21% chance here. 3 castle production of plumes. Dogal won't be an Imp. Plumed Archers with Bracer Chemistry kill the Knights. The castles treb down this castle. I've done the math, and if you don't trust me, I always have a Spirit of the Law in the background working on it for me. He's our mathematician, but I think it is doable. Crazier things have happened on Nomad before. Nice quick walls there from Riot. Nice reaction time. Now, there might be some bias because Spirit of the Law is always rooting for the Japanese, but trust me, we did the math on the Mayans' chances, not the Japanese chances, all right? There's no bias here. The plumes, even in this number, before Imp upgrades, can take out Knights. So, talking about what Dogal needs time, and he needs to probably... He needs a solid 5 to 6 minutes, and in those 5 to 6 minutes... Riot could just massacre everything with trebuchets and plumes. Feels doable for Brazil A. Or, I mean, it feels very doable for Brazil A, but it feels very doable for Brazil B, too. Oof. Here comes Riot. I think Riot wants to drop a castle here. Not a lot to stop him from doing so. Look at all the resources. Oh, hello. Miguel just shows up with Mangonels. That's funny. Look at all the resources he can take. He is sticking with plumes. An eagle switch might be nice at some point, but he is sticking with plumes. He's just making that barrack so he can make the range, and the range so he can get thumb ring. The offensive turkey from Riot is he drops a castle here. He won't have enough for elite plumed archer, but he'll get bracer. And chemistry will probably follow. And these plumes will be able to deal with the Mangonels, but good job from Miguel. Because at this point, Miguel, he's just trying to distract Reed as much as possible so Dogao doesn't die. Here come the knights. So Dogal's thinking if I raid him, he can't push me. Is that the case with this many castles, though? Reed with the micro. Oh. Mike, no. That was... Oof. That hurt. And guys, Dogao is still not on the way to Imperial. A lot of these farms had to be abandoned. He cannot engage against these plumed archers right now. Oh my goodness. Miguel with beasting it up over here with the Mangonels and Conks, though. This is so much value. That's what Spanish can offer. Low numbers of military units, no problem. How do you counter Mangonel and Conk? You make a lot of plumes. So many plumed archers. Wonder if Riot is able to get some pop over here. It'd actually be hilarious to see Goku go for towers. Just to block off those resources. Or just wall them in. That castle's going down for Dogao, who still hasn't clicked up. This castle's going to go down for Miguel, who still hasn't clicked up. This is winnable for Brazil B. Now, there's a lot of military for Dogao. If he can maybe group it up together, he could take out small groups of plumes, but he doesn't have them all together yet. Also, some of his military stats are skewed because I think he still has Navy on water. The Mayan privilege. And this is the power of plumes. And specifically, it's just the power of any fast archer unit with bracer before enemy knights can get upgrades. We've seen Berber camel archers do it in this tournament. We've seen Arbalest do it. Any archer getting to imp faster before the knight players is the way to go. Forget about eco. Just get archers out there. Which makes me, still, every time I say those words, it makes me sad Leary didn't sign up with Austria. Because with how this tournament has developed so far, I feel like Austria could have had a pretty interesting run. Dogao still has 106 villagers. A lot of that's fishing ships. And that's not that easy to raid. Update on Goku. Goku's almost in Castle Age. Let's get some T90 pogs in chat for Goku. Making it to Castle Age. Congratulations. Dogao's still sticking with stable units. Still has the food income, so he'll want to go Cavalier. Miguel is just booming on 3 TCs and saying good luck at this point. How many plumed archers is too many plumed archers to deal with? How's 60 for you? Goku's just signaled, I think, to say that there's a town center there. I think Riot could switch into Halb at some point, too. It makes sense to commit to only plumes because you have the upgrades. But, kind of like the idea of him switching into Halberdier at some point. Here's a fast town center being built for Miguel. That could get denied easily. Goku's at 23 fills. It actually got worse. It actually got worse. Yeah, without being Spanish, Miguel would have never finished that town center. No castle for Dogao, so he can't get the Farimba upgrade, which could make all the difference for Mali and Cav. That's 44 plumes. Riot has 170 population. If you add up the team populations, it's almost 200 for Brazil B. Spirit, what's the math for Brazil A? Oh, it's around 210, 220 for Brazil A. 60 freaking plumes. And if he gets coinage, he'll send resources over to Goku to get him back in the game. But I think if Goku does anything, he should go water. Because there's a lot of fishing ships out there. Whether they're on fish traps or not, that would be the area to raid. Don't give him resources to do something on land. Forget about that. Get him on water. Even with Castle Age Navy, it'd be a good play. Hear the docks producing fishing ships. That's how Brazil A is staying alive with food income, is adding fish traps. Oh, and a big engagement here. This is before Cavalier completes, after armor completes. Good fight for Dogao, who now has 44 military. And there might not be enough plumed archers. There's been no Halb switch from Riot. A lot of castles to produce plumes out of, but if he has to back up here, a sign that things are not going too swell for his team. Also, I could be crazy, but I think Dogal's not going to be too far off from getting a castle up. He's on stone somewhere. Plume's running home, but they are now elite, missing one upgrade. Yep, after that upgrade, they will be elite. Oh, and he didn't have Thumb Ring that entire time. Okay, so 2 upgrades. It's weird. I don't know if you guys pick up on this, but I think it's because I played the game for so long at this point. But you play the game long enough, and you just think this should happen at this time. So I checked Thumb Ring. I went to the range to see if it was completed, because earlier he didn't complete it. At the time, he was getting his other upgrades. And then Riyad's like, oh yeah, I forgot that one. Very weird. I've had people make fun of me for that. Because in some cases, they might look like I see the upgrade, and then I'm like, oh, it's there, you know. But in some cases, I just have a sense. And in some cases, I have an awful sense, too, so I don't know what that means. Even a blind squirrel gets a nut, I guess. Miguel's not contributing. I mean, Miguel could easily die to Plumes and Trebs. This is pretty much a 1v1. I talked about getting Halbs in here, but I don't know if it's really worth it. Because 100 Plumes is probably better than... I don't know. He doesn't really have the eco yet. But see, now, this is what I'm talking about. Now he's getting armor for infantry, so he's thinking about Halbs. It's got so much. I really wish I could add up the amount of fishing ships that Dogal had currently. He's got to have over 30. Everywhere I look, there's fishing ships. And there's fish traps. That's why I feel a raid on water would be the play. But yeah, the one thing Malian should be thinking about here is champion. Cavalier is good for the mobility, and after Farimba, that's deadly. And Farimba's on the way out of that castle that's about to be trebbed down. But champion, high pierce armor, would destroy Plumes and destroy Halbs, I believe. But let's see. So we have 58 plumed archers against 50 Cavalier with +7 attack. How do you think this is going to go? The choke point could make it interesting. The choke point does give Riyad a chance, but I don't know if it's enough of a choke before he mixes in Halberdier for this to be a fight he wants to stick around for. He's got enough Plumes to one-shot the Cav, but there's enough Cav to destroy the Plumes. So Halberdier is on the way. He's making that switch. He's pulled back to his hill. Update over here. We have a castle going up for both players. Goku's castling, and we have Miguel castling. This is so crazy, man. Maybe Goku should get Bills over here. It's just... the only thing that Goku and Miguel are contributing is the annoyance factor. The only thing they're doing. And I say annoying as if it, you know, it's your little brother talking too much. But no, it's like raiding the economy can be deadly, whether it's a castle drop or a tower or two. Look at all these town centers. We've got 5 town centers here for Goku. But it still seems like Miguel's position is so much stronger. So if he's ever going to get back, if the weaker players are ever going to get back into the game, it would be him who does so. Miguel also making that tech switch. I cannot stress the importance of water. Again, as Miguel sends some gold over to Dogal, there's a lot of fish traps out there. Is there a select all fishing ship hotkey that I should know about? Because I would have never changed that or moved that. Oh, the quick wall. Oh my god. That was impressive. If there's a select all fishing ship hotkey, I will try that. I don't know if there is one, and if there is one and you guys know about it, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh god, Miguel placing a castle here. I could always zoom out and take a look. We'll see. There's a lot of green on that mini map. Not so much yellow. That castle. That's worth it. That's worth it to lose a few villagers. That castle goes up. That keeps Miguel alive. Barely. But certainly better than Goku. What if Goku gets defeated? Goku doesn't have pop anywhere else. He's getting Bodkin Arrow for his town centers. That's it. Oh, he has some vills over here, I guess. Okay, so Halb and Plume Good against the Cavalier. Not so good if Champion comes in. Malian Champions have high Pierce armor. So they're great against archers, and Champions themselves fantastic against halberdiers. Not a lot Mayans can really do against that, except for more plumed archers. And that's what Riot's going for. Riot will have 3 castles here, or 3 trebs, sorry, to treb down the castles. But guys, I'm looking at the pops. I guess it really still comes down to the military population between Riot and between Dogao. But Goku's at 8 pop right now. Okay, here he goes. All right, he's still in this. He can reboom. He should have done this earlier. I really hope Brazil win this game. How amazing would it be if they win this game with Goku's pop at 5? Here's 4 of them. And the fires might kill them. Goku, what do you have to pay attention to right now? What do you have to pay attention to? There's nothing else. Hey, here he goes. It's a 1v1 in the 2v2 World Cup. It doesn't make sense, but it is a 1v1 in the 2v2 World Cup. We have Dogao running through. If Dogao defeats Goku, that would be so funny if he finds the villagers somehow. But no, I think that town center will go up. There's this gigantic blob of red in the middle. Supplies for Dogao, but can he get enough two-handed swordsmen out or champions out? I'm not seeing it. Both players are losing castles. Here's the raid. That's a very good raid from Dogao. If it feels like Dogao doesn't have 180 pop, it's because he has a lot of his population on water. Is Brazil B about to do this with Goku at 5 pop? People, are they about to do this? This is ridiculous. What an insane game. Here come 35 Cavalier, but there's 60 plumes and there's a bunch of halbs and there's no champions yet. Now it's 30 Cavalier. Now it's 25 Cavalier. Now it's 20 Cavalier. Does he have enough? Does Riot have enough in support? Does he have enough halberdiers? Does he have enough plume scoot? Is he going to have the eco? Goku's working on that reboom. Now it's 76 military versus 55. And now the champions come out. That might do it. That actually might do it. That fight might have been good enough for Dogao. Actually, it was pretty decent, all things considered. Still so many cav to go down. And now champions, they don't cost as much gold. You mix that in. Riot's only at 48 bills. Wow, Riot just went from 190 pop to 80 pop in a minute. And the GG's called. Whoo, boy. What a game. And what a performance from Dogao. I said it in game 1. The guy is just on another level. He was raiding Goku when he needed to. He was winning water for the team. He was raiding Riot while also defending from Riot there. He had to buy himself so much time. Guys, I'll say this, though. While Dogao played amazing, there was one reason he was able to, and it was because of Miguel. It doesn't look like it when you look at the score. It doesn't look like it when you see the resources collected. But if you think back to what happened in that game, it was supposed to be a 1v1 between Dogao and Goku on water and feudal. Dogao won water because of his great play, but also because Miguel was pestering Dogao on land. And then it was double trouble for Goku because Goku had lost water and lost land. And, I mean, it was an amazing game from Riot, right? I mean, there's not much more he really could have done here, but his teammate wasn't alive. So, I think it was his teammate not being alive, but the main thing is his teammate not having any presence on water. Because Riot, look at all the farms that he was able to displace Dogao from. I'm trying to look at active farmers right now. There's probably going to be around 10 to 20. But he's got, now we can check. Look at this. Imagine if fire ships came out at some point. Not even counting Miguel's fish. 22, 23. So he had 23 of his 43 on food on water. And that was very smart thinking from him to do that because the raids were so brutal to him. And that's a result of winning water early. And you saw the food count already, 25,000 food collected, lots of gold. Man, the fights were not easy for him to take. But when he did take them, especially near the end there, I think it was good. The KD's a little skewed because you look at this and you remember he was fighting Riot for the most part, and you think that he was just destroying Riot in the fights, but Goku probably lost all of his 121 units to Dogao. Not exactly, of course, but a lot of it, so pretty 50-50 fights for most of Imp. Ooh, man, that timeline was crazy. What a game. Poor Goku, though. Goku's had a nightmare of a series. Poor guy. Game 1 was brutal, and Game 2 was even worse. Why didn't Goku go hide at Riot's base when he was moving the first time? I think that Goku... Have you guys ever been in that spot where you're kind of dead, and you feel like there's nothing you can do, so you just queue up Vils, but you don't really think too hard? That's probably an awful way to explain it, but I think he could have been more creative to maybe run over to the other side. But, like, while that's the case, I don't know how much that changes things, and I think the large reason he didn't try and shift over, and yes, I'm going to restart my game, thank you. I think the reason that he didn't want to reposition was because Miguel had those castles there. It took Riot a long time to take Miguel out of that northern area, and so maybe he saw it as too much of a risk. Anyways, we've already seen Arabia and Nomad. The final home map for Brazil B will be on Ghost Lake, so we know that's coming. Guys, after this, we will have the next set. It will be Canada against Poland. Poland's going in there as the heavy underdogs, but ready to surprise some people, I'm sure. Ghost Lake, well, I would say that this is where you have to pull out Chinese. Probably get Chinese archers, give that to Riot, and then get Slavs there maybe for Goku. I think Brazil A will be very happy not showing their Chaos Pit plans. If they were to 3-0 here, for example, it's nice to not show people who you might play in the future what you like to do on your home maps. Big benefit of 3-0ing, and we have 30 seconds for the next game. Wow. So I didn't even have any time to take a real breather there. Thank you, Cobra, Fruity Kiwi, Sweatshirt, Jinxsuke. Thank you, Sinotaf, Vincent, Griffin, Zipe, Sorelius. Hello, thank you for the 15. Lots of subs today, and we'll have the updated prize pool, but the updated prize pool is looking at like $30,000, $300, $400. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for supporting the event. What's up, Alex? That was very creative. But yeah, we're in now. Is it just me, or did I not have grid previously? Did grid just magically appear for me? I didn't have grid for the first game, right? And the second game. I really don't understand this game sometimes. I didn't click anything. I just restarted my game. So it would work. Okay. Well, we have a grid now. In the blue, we have Miguel. Miguel is playing as the Teutons. He's teamed up with Dogao. And Dogal's playing as the Britons. You know, I was going to stop the whole Teutons thing. But then I had a bunch of people telling me they say that around the house. And they annoy their either their roommates or their wives or whatever. So because of that, because of the people who say Teutons at random times and annoy their family members, I will continue to say it to encourage such. Goku he's not had a great day. And it wasn't really because of anything he did. It's because of how much Brazil A was able to gang up on him. He's playing as the Berbers. And then he's teamed up with Riot, who, again, would probably agree he hasn't had the best day. He's Chinese. All right, so thing about Ghost Lake is that main gold is always bordering the ice. It's always forward, and there's extra sheep in the mid. So what I'm expecting here is to have some walls on the front, and then the archer players in particular are going to need to make sure they have a safe gold. This is not ideal. Riot might be tempted to take this, but not being able to wall in front, Like, that's pretty not really unfortunate, but it's really annoying to have the ice so close to the gold. It's the same thing for Dogao on this side. Maybe he has an extra tile or two, but still, you're going to want a town center there in Castle Age, and it does not make life easy for you. I guess the exception would be Goku. Goku's got a better spot there. He's got more room to breathe. I expect meta. And meta's shifted a little bit for this map. We've seen a lot of fast castling, but I think scouts and archers is what Brazil B used a lot in the group stage, and they'll probably do it a lot here again.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting to see if there's any deviation from that with the build orders. I mean, Teutons, we meme about them. In many situations, could be considered OP. We've seen them a lot on Arena. Also, can we appreciate the fact that we've had, what, 3 sets so far in the round of 16, and not a single team has picked Arena? It's really interesting how in the group stage, teams were picking Arena a lot, but now the top 16 teams are like, get that out of here. I just thought about that. We saw Arena so frequently from the underdogs, and now these guys who have actual confidence in their abilities to play the game. You know, I say this as I'm just salty I lost on Arena. But anyways, it's fun. I think we will still see Arena. Actually, Poland's going to pick Arena next. Guarantee it. I don't know if the Canadians or Poland players are listening, but I guarantee you that Barrels and Jack pick Arena for their home map against Canada A. Yeah, I know both these teams are not big fans of Arena, but they're good. They're big fans of making arenas for themselves. What was that one quote from John Slow? I think John Slow said something. He was like, "Man, everyone complains about Arena, but then their walls are up by minute 11." Which I suppose is a fair point. But, you know, Palisade walling, very different. There's some risks to that. There's some investment. I just thought that was funny to bring up. I like Arena, personally. I mean, I ban it. I'm not crazy. I still ban it. I never play it. But I like to watch it. I do like to watch it. It's brought some great strategy to this tournament. And I think we will see some of it. Now, Dogal's going to drush. And if you think back to game 1, he had a sick drush fast castle time. I think he was in Castle Age at 16:42. And it worked well. And it worked well against Goku, who was going scouts in game 1. We'll have the same exact thing here. Meanwhile, Riot's farming and on his way to go archers. Yeah, this is, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Chinese builds, but if you're not pushing a deer or two, or you're down a sheep or two, a farm or two is, lots of twos here is pretty standard stuff with Chinese. What's Miguel up to? Miguel going scouts? Okay, so Miguel's going to go scouts. He's working on walling up. And Goku has to react to this drush, and does react nicely, because otherwise this could have been brutal. I seem to recall saying that he dealt with the drush last time, and then he lost 2 villagers. And then the big concern was they couldn't pressure Dogao at all. So this is looking pretty good so far for the game plan that Brazil A would have. I think Brazil A wants to go ultra late here with Teuton Castles and Cav added to Britain, Trebs, and Archers. I think that you want that. I think that everyone would have loved to have seen that when they were 10, because I know when I was 10, I thought that Teutons and Britons were the best civs, and that Teutonic Knights and Longbows could not be beaten. I have to say, I disagree that that's what they want. I think in this particular matchup, while it might be better late game, I think they're going to take their advantages where they can get them in feudal and go from there. Good micro from Dogal. See, Goku's got the extra attack from being in feudal, but every time he goes in there to attack that scout, micro is solid. All right, now what's different from when comparing this to game 1 is that Riot didn't go for a super late feudal age. He's actually going to have archers coming out of 2 ranges. So they're going to have to probably double Miguel. Miguel might need to prep some towers. Can't... I almost thought he was Huns and said he couldn't house wall, and then I saw house. But no, maybe double palisade will be needed. Because eventually this rush will be cleared up. And then Dogao will offer very little to his team because he will not have military on the field. And if that's the case, you'll have scouts from Goku and archers from Riot. And they'll have to push Miguel. Crazy Pillager, thank you for the 3. Nice name. It will pillage your village. But no, in late game, I give an advantage to Britons and Teutons because of having Paladin and Briton longbows. However, I'd say Castle Age, Chinese, and Berbers feel way stronger because Berbers have the cheaper knights, and Chinese can they can keep up with Britons. Yes, they won't have that extra range, but they can definitely keep up with Britons. So I'd say the goal here, I guess, was to get Britons to Castle Age faster. Make use of the extra range and the cheap town centers. That's where most of Britain bonuses come in. Nice work there from Goku. He clears that up. And for the Brazilians, not the Brazilians, sorry, for Brazil B, they'll want to push now, I think. Like, send the archers forward soon. I guess they're waiting for Rhea to get fully walled before that happens. And oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Dogao just sniped a farm. Farms have 1 HP when you place them. And with one little doink, say goodbye to 60 wood. Freaking Dogao, man. Here are the scouts from Miguel. He's probably hoping that Goku will try and run out so he can run in. It might happen here. Archers moving forward. Yeah, because how's Miguel going to defend from archers over the next couple minutes? He could be in a rough position. I think these archers could have even been a bit more aggressive. What was the uptime? 1642 for Dogao. He's now on the way to Castle Age again with 2 ranges. And he'll have a time that might even be faster. I don't know exactly what it's going to be like, but if you do the math on that, it's close. Reefer the Fox says, hi, T90. Finally, I can stop by. Hey, what's up? You're looking foxy. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not, but I couldn't think of anything else to say. This series just has this sense of inevitability about it. And I think it's because of watching Game 1 and 2. Does anyone else just have this feeling that Dogao's going to kill everything right now? I didn't think I would have this feeling when I started the set. But because of how good Brazil A played Game 1 and 2, and what I've seen previously, it just makes me feel like Miguel's going to somehow deal with this and not take heavy, heavy losses. And then Dogao's going to be all over Goku. Let's see. Miguel getting bloodlines, already has armor. So he realizes his only task is to stay alive and clear this up. If he clears this up, yes, his Castle Age time will be later, but Dogao will be able to shine. Good house walling here. There's actually a villager that should die there. That was a mistake. But yeah, good work. Now the scouts are separated from the archers, and with these upgrades, this should be a fight that Miguel would win. Yeah, he'll clear that, and here comes Dogao. Already adding the second town center, already with crossbow on the way, and he'll be behind a wood line in a second here. So I think Riot and Goku, they need to do as much damage as possible here. They killed 1 villager. There is benefit to the fact that Miguel has had to create so many scouts because his Castle Age time will probably be the latest in the game. You have to stay alive in whatever way possible, and then you have to have Riot go crazy with production when he's finally in Castle Age, which is coming. He's on the way now. So you'll have Riot click up, you'll have Goku click up, and Miguel will be on the later side. If they're able to hold, which means house walls behind palisades, as we're seeing, maybe there's a chance. The wood lines, unfortunately, are all rangeable. Yeah, they can definitely do it. Look at the archer numbers. So, Riot's probably going to add the 3rd range now. I hope so anyways. I really feel like a 3rd range would make sense here. But archer numbers should be pretty close. Plus, Goku's going to be able to contribute with knights before Miguel can contribute with knights. But I feel like maybe it's the pressure, you know, of playing in the tournament or just everything that's gone down. I can't help but feel like some of this could have been slightly avoided by Goku. I think maybe he could be on this wood line already. But you never want to leave wood lines, and also, maybe they weren't expecting this to be a problem. Miguel just brings the scouts over, and now suddenly we have stone walls from Goku. This is against Britain range crossbows. So you better make sure that none of these villagers are in range. Otherwise, you'll just lose the game. No! Goku! Oh, can he hold? Run away, run away, run away, run away, run away, run away. Which wall can they attack? Okay, if they attack that piece, it is going to have more HP in a bit because Goku will be in Castle Age. And maybe Ray can get a trap in here. Let's see. But yeah, damage done. Brazil A will not be able to break through here. I don't think so anyways. Yep, they realized that Riot was coming in from behind. Sneaky, sneaky. Riot on 3 ranges. Fast University, so he'll probably have Thumb Ring. He has Crossbow. And, oh, good micro from Riot. And overall, pretty even game. The terrifying thing is that Dogao's going to have a Vil lead. There's nothing that Brazil B can do about that right now. And that Miguel's going to have a pretty solid eco compared to the other Knight player. But I feel like with the faster Castle Age, there's some potential here. Also, remember, Teutons do not have husbandry. So it can be kind of awkward for Miguel to chase down armies. This is the second time that... No, the third time that Goku has died to Dogao in this set. Goku's been so dead that Dragon Balls can't revive him, pretty much. But yeah, game 1, Dogao got the better of Goku. Game 2, it was Miguel and Dogao on Goku. And now game 3, you had a similar thing. So, thank you, Blue Pill. I needed that. Okay. Miguel has the lowest Vil count in the game. However, Dogao has the highest Vil count in the game. This is the trade-off. Here come the Knights, and here you go. This is what I'm talking about. Yes, you get to Castle Age a bit faster with one player. But now what do you do? Dogao has to fall back. Dogao on 3 town centers, but he's got less archers or fewer archers. And he'll lose more as he runs away here. And Miguel, he needs to contribute and get some support over here, but he's Teutons. He's too slow. Wow, what a swing back for Brazil B. Miguel is at 41 villagers, adding that second town center, adding the third town center even. Now, there is a difference there. Goku will just be on 2, but Goku has the cheaper knights. Goku somehow has more villagers. Brazil B still has a chance here. And what I wanted to say earlier is how people are watching from all around the world, right? And the one thing we really have in common is that we like Age of Empires too. But apart from that, people like different foods, people like different drinks, everything about them can be different for all we know. What has not been different is the joke of, I really think Brazil is going to win this. During the countdown of the stream, I had probably 20 people make the joke. And then every time someone comes in, the same joke's being brought up. So we're not very creative when it comes to that, but I appreciate your humor, chat. It's just, it's kind of funny to me because you know that moment when you think you have a really good joke and you make the joke and you're like, yeah, no one's ever thought of this. I know that all too well. And it's kind of funny when someone says it and they think it's the first time, you know? Not calling you out, you know, it's happening to everyone, but... It's one of those not calling you out, but I am situations. Riot was a god in game number 2. It just wasn't enough. And he's looking good now. He remains competitive with Dogao as far as Vil count goes. And Dogao just brutalizing Goku. I feel bad for Goku. I seriously feel like I mean, I've seen him play in this tournament already, and I've seen him have had better days. Dogao and Miguel gaining a lead, at least based on score. Miguel has a Vil lead over Goku now. But you'll notice there's 20 crossbows against 32 here. I feel like this is where Brazil B should be fighting. Before the reinforcements come in, they should be cutting this off. Am I missing something here? Perhaps just waiting so the fight will be even better for them soon. If they wait, it could be worse. It's given time for those reinforcements. Now it's 32 crossbows against 32. Oh, excuse me, 37. Thumb ring on the way, so that will make a difference. Britons do not get thumb ring, but they get the extra range, so who cares? I think that was a moment where Brazil B needed to pounce. And they didn't do so, and they might be at a disadvantage now. Let's see. Big fight. Fight's taken. Equal knight numbers. Near equal crossbow numbers. Just civ bonuses being the difference. One has thumb ring, the other one doesn't, but the other one has extra range. Teutons have melee armor, but their knights are more expensive. Oh, man. Oh, it's not looking good for the crossbow numbers from Riot. They had more numbers. They could have taken out that batch from Dogao, but they waited. And Dogao's reinforcements came in, and just like in game 1, Dogao's a beast. Just like in game 2, Dogao's beasting it up. Dogao with 85 villagers. He's got 45 military. Riot has 13, and Goku has 6, and that might be the series, my friends. Whew. Again, it's hard to say, but I think had they engaged up that hill, it could have been a little bit better. There's no way of knowing if Brazil A would have been able to outmaneuver there. But I think Dogao, yeah, he's coming forward. He's just going to drop a castle here. We've seen a lot of this on Ghost Lake because the golds are so forward, and there's nothing stopping him from doing that. Your farms belong to Dogao now. Your houses belong to Dogao. Your gold, that also belongs to Dogao. Your lives belong to Dogao. So bend the knee. Bend the knee or die, and since this isn't diplomacy, I think there's going to be a whole lot of death. Yeah, it's such an easy job for Dogao to do from here. He doesn't really need to control his army all that much because he has so many of them. Brazil B looked really good in the groups. Brazil A looked really good in the groups. Brazil A was favored, but they showed today why they are Brazil A. And I'm calling it too soon, but this is game over. There's just no way. Dogao's going to be on the way to Imp. Even if he doesn't Imp, this game's probably over. Everything that Riot will have will go down. Everything that Goku has is dying. If this was game 1, the GG would have already been called, but since it would mean that Riot and Goku would get 3-0'd, they don't want to call it here, but they really should, because there is no way back now. And that's it right there, guys. So the way our quarterfinals, the way the round of 16 is set up is if two teams from the same country advance out of the groups, they have to fight against each other to determine which team is the best team in that country. I think there's absolutely no question that Dogao and Miguel are the best team in Brazil as they move on to the quarterfinals. And they looked so good. Man, like Dogao especially today. Like, I went into the 2v2 World Cup thinking that the meta is scouts and archers, right? With Dogao's performance on Arabia and now Ghost Lake, I'm thinking, how can you stop it if one person goes Drush FC like that? That's ridiculous. You're thinking about like Canada coming up next. They have Slam and Hera and Chris, all known for their good build orders. What if Canada does this? What if the whole meta shifts and we see Drush fast castling? Because that is so unbelievably fast. 1637. He improved upon his 1642 castle time in game number 1. Absolutely brutal. And the uptime for Riot is kind of standard if you go straight archers. They were able to threaten Miguel. Miguel did fall a bit behind because of it, but Miguel is probably happy to do that if it puts his teammate in the winning position. So scores 3-0 there, guys.